Nude photography basics. Nude photography is one of the oldest and most misunderstood forms of photography. When many people hear the term, they immediately think about nudity. But photographers who work in this genre often focus on something else entirely. Light, shape, form, composition, emotion, and the human body as a visual subject. At its core, nude photography is not simply about photographing a person without clothing. It is about how the human form interacts with light, shadow, and visual design. In many ways, nude photography has more in common with sculpture than with fashion photography. The photographer studies curves, lines, balance, and texture. The body becomes part of the composition. One of the most important elements is light. Light defines shape. Soft lighting can create gentle transitions and a calm atmosphere. Directional lighting can emphasize contours and structure. Shadows often become just as important as the areas that are illuminated. Many photographers discover that what is hidden can be more visually interesting than what is fully revealed. Composition is equally important. A nude photograph does not need to show the entire body. Sometimes a single detail can be powerful. A hand, a shoulder, a silhouette, the curve of a back. A carefully composed image encourages viewers to focus on form rather than simply on nudity. Another key principle is communication. The relationship between photographer and subject influences every image. Clear expectations, mutual respect, and professional conduct create an environment where creativity can develop naturally. The strongest photographs often emerge when the subject feels comfortable and confident. Without trust, even technically perfect photographs can feel uncomfortable or disconnected. Posing is another important skill. Many beginners assume that nude photography is simply about standing in front of a camera. In reality, small adjustments can dramatically change an image. The angle of a shoulder, the position of a hand, the direction of a gaze. These details influence mood, emotion, and visual balance. Experienced photographers often spend more time refining subtle details than making major changes. Backgrounds also matter. A simple background can help emphasize form and shape. A complex environment can add context and narrative. Some photographers work in studios. Others use natural landscapes, architecture, or minimalist spaces. The choice depends on the story being told. Perhaps the biggest mistake beginners make is focusing only on nudity. Successful nude photography is rarely about the absence of clothing. It is about artistic intention. The photograph should communicate something beyond simple visibility. It may explore beauty, strength, vulnerability, movement, identity, or simply the elegance of light interacting with the human form. Throughout art history, painters, sculptors, and photographers have returned repeatedly to the human body as a subject. Not because it is shocking, but because it is universal. Every human being lives within a body. As a result, the body remains one of the most familiar and yet most complex subjects in art. For photographers, learning nude photography is often less about photographing nudity and more about learning to see. To see shape, to see light, to see composition, and to understand how visual elements work together to create meaning. In the end, the strongest nude photographs are usually the ones that make viewers forget about nudity entirely. Instead, they notice the artistry, the emotion, the design, and the unique human presence within the frame.